Hi and welcome to the latest game testing session of the Imperial Elves by epicwargaming.com. And I thought I would start on this picture today because this is a very important part of my game testing sessions. Chocolate biscuits or Jaffa cakes or any other chocolate treats sort of keeps the game testers sort of happy and going during a game. So yeah, it's quite important. And another thing, I'd like to apologise, I haven't made any posts for a while. A few weeks ago my mother passed away, so generally I've just been sort of getting back to normal, and now that everything's sort of got back on track again, I'm going to start with the game testing sessions, hence this video, and yeah, everything's getting back to normal. Anyway, on with the game test. Today we're really looking at the disc thrower, along with the whole entire new army of the Imperial Elves. And today we've got 3,000 points each. Matty is playing the Elves. He's using an old list of mine. And he's playing Tom. He's playing the Alancians. And this is the terrain generator. This is what it did. Matty's going to be over here, whilst Tom's going to be over here. This is what the board looks like. The Alancians, or Tom's Alancians anyway, usually come as a defensive army, so this should be quite good for Tom, I should imagine. I know this is going to be alright for Matty as well, because he's going to want the high terrain for his disc thrower as well. Here we go, as you can see, bang bang bang. I did expect the bolt throwers from Tom, but not as many. He's got 5 bolt throwers. So many bolt throwers that actually ran out, so we've had to use pieces of card to mark out the bases of the bolt throwers. And I've got to admit, I do think he's a little bolt thrower heavy, because though they're not expensive in points, they're quite expensive in stars. They're 1 star each under the new rules we're game testing at the moment, because bolt throwers were a little bit good under the current rules, so they've been sort of toned down a little bit. What he also has is a big nasty unit of cavalry. That's evil as that, and Tom always has this big unit of cavalry, and they're going to be very, very hard to shift off the board. And he's got the banner of steel as well, which basically gives them +1 to the save, so they're going to be, yeah, they're just going to be hard to shift off. And hidden in this wood are 4 Gigors. That's 400 points of complete and utter killing power, so they're going to be nasty when they decide to come out of there. Other than that, he's just got 2 units of spearmen, 1 unit of Grand Guard. Grand Guard are quite good troops, very good troops in fact. He's got a battle balance guy in there. He's got his general knocking around in there. Yeah, it's a nice little army here, but I do fear he's got 1 wizard, which is a bit worrying. The weakness of this army is that it's not very magical at all. It's got no magical defences, which we later discovered, and that was very worrying. When this army over here, because I designed it, it is very magical. It's got 2 sorceresses. 1 sorceress is a fantastic sorceress. She's there. She's a master wizard. She's just a complete and utter. She's really magically toned up. They've got a unit of Solus here. They've got spearmen. They've got helms there, trying to get out of the way of the bolt throwers. Basically, Tom did bring the what's it called now? The Supreme Book of Knowledge, so he got to go first basically, so he's going to get a chance to fire his bolt throwers before the elves have to move forward. He's got his enforcers over there, an absolute brickard unit. He's got a knight, he's got his battle standard guy there, he's got another sorceress, and he's got his general master wizard there, who's a really good wizard. And it is a bit worried for the Alancians today, because I really do think they're going to struggle with magic today, with the elves blasting at them. Some close-up shots. Let's quickly scoot through these. When my computer decides to, do something. There we go. Again, this unit here is really out on a limb, and I don't like that. I like to keep my armies nice, compact, close together, so they're covering each other. As you can see, you've got your heavy riders here. That is a nasty unit of heavy riders. Tom always takes about 30 heavy riders, and you never ever see the end of them towards the end of the game. You never see them off, there's just too many. So here we are, we're moving to the first turn. all the bolt throwers fire. They kill about 5 Imperial Helms, which isn't really that good, to be quite honest with you, to say how many points and how many stars are invested in these things. These spearmen here, they're moving round. The reason why they're doing that, if we look at here, as you can see, the elves have no choice but to move through here, basically. So that's going to give these guys here and the Gigors hidden in the wood a chance to flank these guys. But in saying that, the elves are made up of different units, so they can peel off these units to face them accordingly. So I have to see how that plays out anyway. Right, let's move on. So it's the elves' first turn. They scoot down this hill, moving straight out of the visual range of the bolt throwers. So even though they've taken damage, they are now in fact safe from the bolt throwers, which is pretty bad news for those bolt throwers, because now they're going to have to pick on, well, infantry, which, you know, they're the lesser troops really. You want the bolt throwers to be picking up the cavalry. You really want to be hurting things with them bolt throwers. The reason why Tom brought the bolt throwers is that I think that he thought Matty would bring a dragon, but he didn't. But never mind, eh? The Solus have surged forward. The disc thrower there, that comes into play later on. As you can see, that knight there, that's a new piece of design. It's like a lesser hero, nice little hero, cheap as well for the elves. Now I'll show you. You see there, as you can see, some heavy riders have disappeared, and the reason why, this disc thrower is fired here, and it curls round us, this disc, and eventually comes full circle, circling round and hitting everything it goes over, basically. And it basically fired, turned 50 degrees and killed, and just straight through that unit, and just killed about 5 heavy riders. So it did quite well there. Quite a nasty bit of kit is that. We go on to the Alancian's second turn. They're just moving round. I didn't think that was a brilliant move, to be honest with you, because look what they've done. They've blocked these 2 bolt throwers' line of sight, to be quite honest with you. They should have just surged them over, but they didn't. See that marker there? That usually marks Tumbling Skies. That's a new spell, and it's just smacked straight into them, killing more heavy riders. Not nice at all. Bolt throwers fire. Here's a nice picture I saw. And yeah, they're basically marching over the hill to try and get the bolt throwers, or tie up the bolt throwers. The elves' second turn now. It's generally just a surge forward from the elves. That's all they can do really, except for the mat. Look at that. These guys are slowly disappearing. A combination of the disc thrower and Tumbling Skies, or the Disciplines of Destruction, are slowly nailing this unit, really giving Tom a bloody nose there. Very nasty. That unit's nearly half dead now, and that's really quite a hard unit to shift as well. Their second turn, the bolt throwers are not doing it for Tom. They hit on a 5 and 6 as a 1 in 3 chance. They're going to score hits every turn, but they're just not doing the damage. No. And you see, we'll just go back to that there. They actually cast Tumbling Skies on this unit, and that would have done quite a bit of damage. But because these sorcerers have dispel, lesser dispel staffs, they've got dispel magic scrolls, they can stop these spells. And Tom hasn't brought anything like that. So the elves are really just dominating the Alancians with magic, and there's nothing they can do about it. And it's really, really becoming a deciding factor of this game. Look at this, there's nothing they can do. They cast Tumbling Skies on this unit. That's how many kills there, nails that unit, and because they don't have any spell scaffs or, you know, or anything like that, there's nothing they can do. So they're just getting nailed with magic, basically. This is a nice picture here, just panning over the battlefield. Look, these guys run. They that much damage, you see, because they've got no magical defense. They've just decided to run away, and that could have been avoided with a dispel scroll very easily. for 25 points. So these enforcers now are feeling quite confident because they're just surging into, trying to catch these guys now. So it's unfortunate we didn't get past the fourth turn, or the fourth human turn anyway, because the boys had to leave early today, but generally we did play on enough to sort of guess what would happen towards the end of the game. As you can see, the Solus have engaged these guys. Really, Matty just wants to pin this unit or hold it up enough for these guys to fly into the side, but there's a good chance that these Solus could be wiped out in one turn because they don't even have an attack. They're no good in combat, Solus. These spearmen now have moved into these heavy riders. Really, the heavy riders shouldn't beat these guys because they are spearmen. As soon as they've had to charge, the reason why those guys didn't charge into those spearmen is because, again, Sorceress's magic cast a spell on them, Shadow Attack, which doubled up their attacks, would have given them 40 attacks. So for those guys to charge into these spearmen, it would have been suicide. So they just had to stand back and get charged from the spearmen. There was nothing they could do, really. So it's actually looking quite good for the Elves. As you can see, these guys just didn't manage enough to kill, and so in Matty's next turn he would hit that unit in the side, he'd get the soft infantry unit, and he would nail that unit completely. As you can see, these guys now are slowly getting whittled down in combat. The Jaegars are sat on nothing, but if you have a look over here as well, he's actually moved out his general, which was a very wise decision by Tom. And what he's done is he's now 8 inches within these guys here, so he's re-rallied those spearmen there, saving that unit, which is a good thing. And really, we're on like I think this is the last turn, or the last slide when it decides. Yes, it is. And generally that was the end of the game. It wasn't a brilliant game because we only played up to 4 turns, which I think is the shortest game we've ever had. Really, in the next 2 turns it would have decided who would have won. I really do think the Elves would have won it because they just had too much magic for the Alancians to hold back. Sure, the Alancians had the Jaegars hidden in a wood, but I really do think the magic would have swung it their way. The Sorceress is absolutely devastating. A Sorceress that has laws of destruction, can breathe fire, can explode, send, comets from outer space smashing down onto the, and they can even take on Jaegars in combat. So the Jaegars might have made a difference. Plus, on the other side of the battlefield, those Imperial Elms would have smashed through those spearmen in one turn, which would have allowed them to sweep across the rest of the board. So for my money, it would have been the the Elves which would have won that game. But that's it. When we worked out the points, no one had really done decisive amount of points, so we declared it a draw. But for me, it would have been the Elves which would have easily won that towards the end of the game. Right, and that's it. But as a game test, it was actually quite good because we found a few bugs in the actual main rules, which have now been patched up for the next update. With when the disc went into the wood, it did that twice. There were no rules to cover that. I've now written those rules. So game testing wise, it was a very good game test. Plus the disc thrower did exactly what I needed it to do as well, which is all great stuff. So I'm actually getting quite happy with the disc thrower now. And that's it anyway, so thank you very much for watching, and I hope you join me next week. Take care everyone, goodbye.